Welcome back, guys, at day 3, and we're now going to try and sort out some sort of path through in the garden. Evie's making a start on this today, but I'm just going to switch around and you'll be able to see what's going on. It's causing us a bit of an issue at the moment. So apart from finding out we've got a bit of an ant issue, so we're trying to sort that at the moment. The other problem we've got is we're in a really tight space here. So Evie is currently trying to clear up all the stones. Sounds fairly simple in theory, but we have somebody that's doing her best to make sure that all the stones get kicked off again. So Clara is currently not Evie's friend, because you can see that straight away she's knocking them down. You can see the pathway through is a bit of a struggle at the moment. It is a bit of a weird garden, to say the least. So we do have a bit of a flat patio, which is nice. Then we've got a sloped patio, which is just weird. And you may not be able to tell, but out the back there, clearly there is a lot that we can do to make most of the space, probably with some terracing. But for the moment, it's just the practical stuff that Evie's trying to get everything cleared up, just so we can walk to and from for the moment. Catch you later. Just doing our tip run, taking down some of the kitchen units, one that we did earlier, which Evie will post about, and you can see the age of it, dated 96, so it's lasted well for what it is, but definitely time for a refresh. Welcome back, guys. So another weekend, Saturday morning. It is a glorious day outside. We're not being grumpy, it's just trying to keep a bit of the heat out of here. This is the lounge seen before. It's looking a little bit more cluttered now, a bit more stuff in here, and that is because we're going to make a start, hopefully, on the wallpapering today, or the wallpaper removal. So we're in the dining room, and you should hopefully be able to see it's almost empty, pretty much as close as we're going to get it. So this is going to be the focus today. Got some help from my future brother-in-law and my nephew, who's I'm going to show you. Come on in, Josh. He's wearing a frankly ridiculous outfit. There he is. Look at that. Absolutely beautiful. So we're going to crack on with this room. It's a bit chopping and changing at the moment. There's a lot going on. So we're doing what we can when we can. But this will be a good room to get started. The plans are nearly in place. I'm going to post those when I can, as to what's going to go on here in the kitchen. Kitchen's about to go on order. It'll only take a couple of weeks from one of our companies, Flat Pack Kitchens. And then next up is we've had the report back about the asbestos. It's kind of how we imagined it to be. The good news is wallpaper's all clear, so that hence we're able to scrape them off now. Ceilings do have asbestos in them, as we thought they probably would, which is okay. We're going to overboard some, we're going to skim some. We've got a little bit of damage here, which means we're going to struggle. We're going to either have to have it removed professionally, or we're going to have to overboard it. The plaster's been in, he's comfortable that overboarding is going to be a good solution. We're not quite sure about the spots yet, because if we want spotlights in here, we've got to get somebody that can drill the holes using an encased drill. But we're not completely sure how that's going to go down yet. And we've got an electrician lined up. He's going to be coming in soon, because as you may expect from a 60s, 70s house, the electrics are basic, to say the least, nowhere near enough. And we're going to need a 45 amp switch in the island, which obviously we're going to need the electrician to fit. So we've got to see whether he thinks the current consumer unit's up to spec. That's going to be one of the key things. It could crank the price up, but my feeling is we'll need to do it, because this place is that has not got enough electrical points at the moment. So I think the more we put in, the more of a strain it's going to put on the load on the circuits. And you probably just heard the cat in the background. She's still locked in at the moment, and she is getting very grumpy. But she's going to have to wait. There's nothing we can do about that. Couple of weeks at least before she comes in. We do have the cat flap on order. I can show you that briefly. So we're going to have one of these units, these glazing units, taken out, cat flap in the bottom, which should mean that cat can come in and out. Conservatory mentioned to you a while ago, or the last video I should say, that it was all blocked up here. I didn't video it, but we have been up and cleared all the gutter down. So I can probably show you that, which should have made a really big difference to any potential leaks and what have you. So you can see now the gutter channel is relatively clear. So that will hopefully stop any problems further down the line. So that's it for now. We will pick it up when we start the wallpapering and see how we get on from there. Catch you later. So first off, we're just taking the first layer off. In the end, we decided we'd just try and do it without any chemicals or steam. And actually it came off really easily. I think it's because it's very good quality wallpaper. It was stripping down really nicely. So you can see as it goes along, you end up with this yellow back, and that's just the back of the wallpaper. And then you can see Matt's going along and he's wetting it all. And then we'll do a further scrape. You can see Evie and Matt both scraping here, and that's taking it back to that kind of white cream, which is the base of the wall. Like I said earlier, it's worked really well, far better than we expected. So first of all, the walls are in really, really good condition. And secondly, it didn't take anything like as long as we thought it was going to do. You can see the four of us on the case and good teamwork. And we're well on the track to completing this. Moving on then, Evie and Josh went upstairs to carry on. Pretty much the end of Saturday. We've had some great progress today. It's far better than we expected. In fact, we probably got a bit carried away, so we've ended up doing an extra bedroom. So we've made the decision that Evie and Sarah in my bedroom were swapping around. And we took the opportunity, because Evie had emptied most of the room, excuse me, that we would take the opportunity to strip the walls as well. I'll show you in a sec. We started stripping downstairs. It went really well. The wall, the quality of the walls are excellent. I was hoping this would be the case. They are very flat. They're in really good condition. We're going to have to do some minor cosmetic stuff on it. As you can probably see here, there's some scrapes and scuffs, but it's really minor. So that's great news. So we managed to get all of this done. In fact, Evie and Josh did most of that themselves, so it was a great job. Obviously, still a little bit of a mess, but we'll clear that one up for the end of the day. So that's upstairs done. Just nip down the squeaky stairs. We will fix them one day. And we're into what will be the kitchen. As I said at the beginning of the day, this is the plan to start with, because Matt was coming in to give us a hand. That's all stripped out. Lots of mess now that we're just about to start clearing up. Again, it's just cosmetic damage really. There's randomly what looks like a 45 amp socket in there, so that's one for the electrician when he comes in. Some minor stuff where the rail was, lots of minor holes, but all in all it's a really big success story, really much better than we were anticipating. So it's now just clear down. We did also take the radiator out, had a little bit of an occurrence, found 2 pairs of old lady pants, which is not the most pleasant thing in the world, but they have gone in the bin. Also, while we were emptying the radiator, I must confess I did a bit of a Muppet move, and we emptied the radiator straight outside the back door, which I thought would be fine, but is actually if you can see, because Clara's in the way. Filthy black, and Clara then walked it through the conservatory, so you can see some pretty big paw prints. Fortunately, Sarah has lived with me long enough that she takes this stuff in a stride, so we'll probably clear up what we can of the paw prints, but it's game over for this carpet anyway, so it's not a big deal. We'll give her a quick hoover up and then leave it at that. But the fact the radiator's out is an extra bonus. We are currently thinking we're going to have underfloor heating, just waiting for some prices back. So if that is the case, then all the radiators are going to be pulled out anyway. So that's progress for today. It's been sweltering hot, but everyone's plugged away. It's been a really decent day. We'll update you hopefully tomorrow on further progress. Day 2 of the weekend. We have quite a few little bits and pieces jobs today, so I don't think there's going to be too much progress. But to start with, we are cutting up some carpet. As I've said to you before, we're lucky enough to have parquet floor underneath, but it doesn't look like it's going to be good enough quality. And secondly, hopefully we're going to have underfloor heating, which isn't compatible with the parquet flooring, so that's going to go as well. We're not sure yet whether we're going to lay it on top or rip it up. That's to be done. But one of the first things you do is, as we call it, the tip run, but I think modern terms is the recycling centre. One of the things with these kind of projects is you are constantly creating little bits and pieces of rubbish. We don't really want to have a skip, first of all because of the inconvenience, and secondly because obviously it all just gets dumped in the skip and then it gets dumped in landfill, whereas if we take it to the tip, we're able to break it up into different bits and it all gets recycled, or most of it anyway. So that's the plan today, is take some of the carpet up. We're hoping to get into Evie's room to do some paper stripping. We definitely have to have the shed sorted, and we've got a couple of doors that won't shut at the moment, so it's causing a bit of a pain. So we were hoping to get through all of those bits and pieces jobs. Keep you updated through the whole project today, and we'll let you know how we get on later on.
Hopefully we have more wet bags.
We've got 2 rolls in total.
Okay, we just don't know where it is. I'll ask her in a sec, but she said these were the ones that were in the door and I think Mum doesn't know where the rest where any more.
Okay, we'll have to go get some.
Pardon?
We'll go get some. Is that the end of the roll, did you say?
Yeah, that's the last one.
This is the answers to how much more we should do. So is that? So we're off on the tip run. We've got 2 cars worth already, which is crazy considering it's only been 2 weekends. So we've got carpet, underlay, some wood, some wallpaper, and some various bits and pieces, including 4 plastic chairs and 2 metal chairs that the previous owners left behind. So it does help to keep everything on top of everything, so we're not too messy. But unfortunately, it does take a bit of time to get all of this done. But it is part of the process, and we just got to be a bit chilled about it. So heading off now. Don't know how long it'll take. It quite often depends whether they're changing skips or not. Can take quite a while, but it's a lovely day. We've got the aircon on, so there's no big drama. As the development goes on, we're always going to come across these little things. This is a classic one, just taking apart some wardrobes. Well, in fact, part of the wardrobes are staying for the moment, but there was a desk attached. So I'm just removing it, and there was a socket attached to desk. I don't think really up to modern regs, but particularly, oh, sorry. So I think we're going to have to sort that one out and make sure that it's back to safe way for the moment. It's going to get a full checkup from an electrician, hopefully fairly soon, but for the moment we'll make it safe. Good afternoon, guys. This is the end of the weekend, so I thought we'd do a quick recap of where we are. As always, you think you can get through more than you do, which can be a bit frustrating, but actually when we look back, we have had some really good progress this week. Walls especially, they've come off really well. Evie's now made a start, as you'll see on the video, on her room as well, although there is a bit more to be done. I'm just going to give you a brief when it comes to the new kitchen. So this was the carpet we were taking up earlier, and as you can see, Clara's happy as Larry. The parquet floor is actually only half the room anyway, so there's not a lot we can do with it. You can see these tiles here. These are the remnants of the tiles that we know have asbestos in them, so they're perfectly safe as they are, but we wouldn't necessarily want to be using them, leaving them exposed. So we believe what the original layout was, that this was the dining room, and then Evie's just had a bit of chill out time in what would have been the kitchen. So initially the giveaway was this switch, which I think you mentioned, which looks like it's a 45 amp, so that was obviously the cooker switch. And then you can see there was tiles here as well, so that will make a lot more sense. Dining room then had parquet floor, but as you can see, the edges are all concreted where they've put new windows in. You can see the windows are exposed now, and they're going to be full height black doors, or black framed doors, big glass doors on those two. So this is our table currently. This shows you roughly where the kitchen island is going to be. And then we're going to have fridge freezer here. The door's going to be blocked up. A row of tall larder units across the top here. And then there's going to be some base units running all the way along here. Sink at the back, and then hob on the island. And then the dining room table will be butted up against the island, and then we'll have a little snug area where Evie is there, hopefully TV on the wall. We have come across a little bit of an issue which we're a bit concerned about, which is that we've realised that some numpty put in a hole for the vent for the gas boiler, which is in that cupboard, which, as I've mentioned previously, has been condemned. But in the process, they've actually chipped away at the wall that is holding this structural beam. So we're not quite sure at the moment, but it looks like it could just be literally be held up by a bit of plaster. So not really what we wanted to see, but we happen to have the builders in this week looking at the driveway, so we're going to see if we can get them to just quickly patch that one up, and if not, if there's a more serious job, then hopefully they'll be able to tell us. Other than that, I was just going to mention where we are a couple of weeks in now, and one of the things that we wanted to explain was how we're going about doing this. Because of commitments with work from Sarah and myself, all the work is done on the weekend, so we're typically doing currently just Saturday, Sunday. We're hoping that we'll be able to start doing a couple of evenings or 1 or 2 evenings a week as well. It's still pretty intense, obviously fitting around work as well, but we're also pulling in the right direction together, so hopefully that'll keep on working. It's just chipping away at jobs. The job priority list goes up and down, so we do have a constantly evolving list, but so far, I think we're pretty happy with progress. So what we'll try and do is, for the moment, we're going to try and post once a week. May not always be possible, depending on how much progress there's been, but that's the aim, once a week. And we'd love to hear some feedback. Obviously, subscribe and like, and we'll hopefully see you again next week.